Here we are inside the gift drop center, inside Santa's workshop, inside Westfield UTC.
Yep.
It just rolls off the tongue. But we're doing important work. We're trying to get you to help us help the kids at Rady Children's Hospital. This is the new version of the kids crane. I get to stay on the ground. Unfortunately, we don't get to collect toys because Rady isn't accepting toy donations right now. We're going to collect a lot of monetary donations, we hope, fingers crossed, and turn those into toys down the line.
And we're giving you something for your monetary donation. You can come get all of your gifts wrapped. It's complimentary, aka donation-based gift wrapping here at Westfield UTC, and we have the most amazing volunteers. It's been a little bit slow because of the rain, but the rain has now pretty much stopped, I'm happy to say. So if you were considering spending your afternoon at Westfield, it's totally fine now, but it's not packed to where you wouldn't be able to find parking and all that. So I feel like it's kind of the perfect time.
It's in the sweet spot. If you live nearby, you want to top off the end of your weekend with a mall trip, get some of that holiday shopping done, get those gifts wrapped, and make a donation to charity. 3 major things off your holiday checklist in one fell swoop. We're doing this until 5, but you can do all of that until 7. That's how late the gift wrap station is open today.
We had someone stop by the gift wrap center a little bit earlier today and was telling us that their son, who is only 2 years old, had been to Rady Children's Hospital, like approximately 10 times already. Yeah. So again, it's hard to find somebody who lives in San Diego who doesn't have some sort of a connection to Rady. It might not be you or your child, but maybe it's a neighbor or one of your kids' classmates. And once you go and you experience Rady Children's Hospital, you understand what these toys mean and what they do to brighten a kid's day. It can turn everything around for the family.
Absolutely. And I say this lovingly as a former little boy myself, but of course that mom was the mom of a little boy that had been in like 8 times.
I know.
They're freaking maniacs.
Yes.
They should get punch cards for the 5th visit being free. But yeah, the toys, the games, it is what makes it different from so many other children's hospitals, that they have world-class care at Rady, and you also have a world-class experience as far as making sure everyone is in the loop, everyone has what they need, and all the extra stuff like the toys, the games, the playrooms does come from the community. There's no budget for it at Rady. It comes from this event and events like it.
If you don't feel like you're going to be able to make it out to Westfield UTC today, that's totally okay. This fundraiser goes through December 23rd, Christmas Eve. And you can also donate online. If you go to All in San Diego podcast and just click donate, you can donate there. And on Instagram, we're at All in SD podcast, and we have links set up.
Absolutely. Well, we obviously we're able to do these kinds of things on social media. This is streamed out to YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. Of course, the podcast, which we thank you for listening to if you're a podcast listener of All in San Diego. But we've also been very grateful this year to get some great help from some of our friends in local media. We recently were able to stop by CBS 8 to spread the word.
CBS 8 is a proud partner of the Rady Children's Hospital Light the Way campaign to make the season brighter for sick children. And there are a couple of ways you can help. You can visit the Rady Children's Ice Rink at Liberty Station. It's open every day except Christmas Day through January 8th. Or you can visit the UTC Mall, where some familiar faces will be wrapping gifts for donations that all go to kids at Rady Children's. AJ and Sarah from the All in San Diego podcast are here with details on AJ's Kids Gift Wrap Center at UTC. First of all, longtime friends of the show, welcome back.
Thank you for having us back.
Good to see you.
Glad you're here. Okay, AJ, I'm going to start with you. You have made this a focus of yours for how long now?
I did the AJ's Kids Crane for 19 years, where I live in a crane every year. We'd collect toys for the kids, yeah.
We remember you in that crane.
Yes.
But all of these, the money raised and the toys that were donated, all going to kids at Rady Children's Hospital. Why is that an organization so close to your heart?
It started with my doing a radiothon there and just seeing how amazing it was and learning that it is a nonprofit. They raise money all year long, but none of it goes to toys or games. Anytime you go to a playroom and you see toys and games for the kids, those have been donated through the community. So it's an important thing that we do.
It's so great, and I'm so glad year after year you find a unique and creative way to get involved. I know Rady Children's, post-COVID, they're doing things slightly different. They say, okay, pause on the toy donations. What we're going to do is set up a little toy store inside the hospital where the kids can actually go and shop for themselves, and how the public can help is through donations in order to supply the toys at the hospital. Sarah, that's where you guys come in. What are you doing this weekend?
We are going to be at Westfield UTC Mall, and we're going to be doing some gift wrapping. It's complimentary, donation-based.
Yes.
Gift wrapping. So come bring all of your holiday gifts, and we're going to wrap them for you. There's a bunch of volunteers who are going to be helping out, and if you make a donation, all of that money, 100% of it, will go to buy toys, games, arts and crafts, and completely restock the playroom that you were just talking about and the toy store. It all goes to the kids at Rady.
So if I show up with a lawnmower that I bought somebody for Christmas, is this something that you guys can handle wrapping?
Take that to Sarah's line.
Yeah.
In general, take stuff to Sarah's line.
take that one.
I make no promises.
I'll take that one. We're going to give AJ some gift wrapping lessons before tomorrow. We're going to have a cram session. But yes, for the big items, come to me.
Come to you. Okay,
Yep.
I'll make sure
I'm
to
a pro.
right to Sarah's line for some of those bigger items. All the money, though, AJ raised goes right to Rady Children's, as Sarah mentioned, 100% of the donations.
Yes, a lot of it will fund that toy store you were talking about, and then throughout the year, if a kid's in there on his birthday or if Christmas comes around, they're able to give toys on Christmas. And so we're really stocking up a fund for the next year that hasn't really been stocked, at least by us, in about since 2020, because the pandemic and things. So this is our first live fundraiser in years.
Getting back out there, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so although we're going to be raising donations for Rady Children, should we have a little fun little toy trivia? Can I put you two to the test
Sure.
this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out some questions and test your toy knowledge. And let's start with cue the game show music. Yes, very important here. Where were Legos invented? And there are some options here on the screen.
Denmark.
I think I know. Oh, I was going to say Denmark. I actually knew that one.
It's supposed to be hard.
I actually knew that one.
No, yeah, I'm on it.
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like Denmark is highlighted there. Yes, AJ, you are correct.
All right.
He's trying to look at my sheet here. Okay. What was the first toy advertised on television? Was it the Slinky, the Barbie, Mr. Potato Head, or Silly Putty?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to go with C, Mr. Potato Head.
I'll go with Slinky. It's just a spring. It must have been invented a long time ago.
Yeah, no, Sarah, you
Pushing
are
my
correct.
things. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so 2 for 2 for Sarah, and AJ, you're one for 2. Okay.
One each, yes.
Let's give you another one here. Play-Doh was originally invented for what purpose? For caulking, for cleaning wallpaper, for sculpting, or for a general adhesive?
I'll say caulking. It makes sense, right? Yes.
You just wanted to say caulking.
Yes.
I'm going to go with cleaning wallpaper.
Cleaning wallpaper. Okay, let's see which one it is going to be here. Cleaning wallpaper. What?
I thought AJ was going to smoke me in this game.
That's
this is
Cleaning
exciting.
wallpaper.
A bad inventor that accidentally invented
Okay,
it.
with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Wow, all right. I thought it was for getting stuck in your carpet and driving mom crazy.
That too. Yeah.
Okay, number 4. What 1970s toy made the inventor $1 million in 6 months? Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Pet rock.
The Light Bright, Stretch Armstrong, or a Pet Rock?
Well, you got a little braggy. I'm getting competitive now.
Okay, I think he was supposed to wait until the question
All right.
was done, but I will go with Light Bright, even though I think
Bright.
he's right.
Okay, let's see. Pet Rock?
All right.
Okay.
Pet
That's fine.
Rock.
I know, I'm intimidating.
Wow, okay, so was that a tie for the two of you?
That was a tie.
We'll call
That's
it a tie.
Okay, good. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for what you're doing. Again, one more time, where can folks find you tomorrow at the mall?
We're inside Santa's Workshop, which is kind of right in the middle of the UTC Mall by the fountain. And we're going to be out there all weekend long, but the event goes through the 23rd. So anytime in the next 2 weeks, you can come out and get your gift wrap, and I'll go help the kids.
Okay, fantastic. And where do we find your podcast, Sarah?
All in San Diego on Instagram, All in SD Podcast. That's the best place, and all the details about the fundraiser will be there as well.
All right, you guys, thanks again. Thanks for doing
you.
what you do for kids at Rady Children's. We do
I won.
appreciate it.
Wallpaper cleaner.
I think it was a tie.
Lucky guess.
Yeah.
The look on your face. That was
Sorry,
awesome.
It's been a long day. What a thanks. We are. That was a fun contest. We were watching, by the way. And we thank CBS 8 again. You tapped me like, hey, look at that weird thing over there. Like, so I was like looking like, what am I missing? Because there has been some of that, as there is anywhere you go.
Westfield UTC is where we're at. We're inside Santa's Workshop, and we can look right out the door and see everybody going by with lots of parents with strollers and people with shopping bags. arms full of gifts, bring them in to Santa's workshop and get them gift wrapped. It's a donation-based gift wrapping that we're doing now through the 23rd. And all of the money raised, every single penny goes to buy toys for the kids at Rady Children's Hospital and nothing else.
And it's super important that we make some headway this year, because this is our first live event since 2019. And so we stopped really raising money for 3 years, but we still spent it. Kids still went to the hospital. They still got toys. They still got games. They still go into the playrooms. And so we need to start that fund going back in the growing direction instead of the dwindling direction.
You know, when your kids have a fundraiser at school and they send you, you can see the thermometer.
Yeah.
So I feel like at one point it was probably off the charts.
Yes.
It was off the 100-degree mark. And now it's, you know, coming back down because, like you said, they're still using money from the fund this whole time. And we haven't been able to replenish AJ's Kids Fund. And that's where you guys come in. You've come through every single year that we've done this, and we count on you. The kids at Rady Children's Hospital count on you. If you've ever had an experience there as a family, this is your opportunity to give back, to pay it forward.
Yeah. I almost wish we could have a camera following us through the halls right now so we can show you
I
that
know.
playroom that's amazing, and that garden that's amazing, and the things they have on the walls that are made to be touched as kids walk by, so they can have a sensory experience, even if they're being wheeled down the halls. When you get in the elevator, you look out, but it's dominoes. So even if you're in a bed and you're looking up, there's something to stimulate you up there.
Wow.
They think of absolutely everything.
I didn't
at
know
Rady.
that about the ceilings.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. In the
That is
elevators.
so cool.
Yeah, they have stuff up on the ceiling. So if you're in a bed, you get something to focus
Wow.
on even then. Yeah. And it's all amazing, and it all comes from the community, because Rady, it's a nonprofit. They collect millions and millions of dollars through really lavish fundraisers, and everything from the big, VIP fundraising event to the little community event. Those things all matter, but most of them go to Rady, which means they go to beds and medicine and research and Band-Aids and, this payroll, running the hospital. None of those things cover toys, games. There's not a line in the budget for toys, games, and fun. That comes from the community, and it largely comes through events like this.
If you are able to come out and see us in person, we would love to see you and make a connection in person. We're at Westfield UTC in Santa's workshop. If you're not able to, that's okay too. You can donate online. You can go to allinsandiego.com and click donate there, or on social media. We've linked you up in our bio to donate from Instagram and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Today is day two-ish. It started late Friday, and yesterday we had a great day. Today we were hoping to have a great day. The rain objectively crushed it a lot. Outdoor malls during the rain aren't the jam, for a lot of people. But the online donations have helped, and you can still help there. Allinsandiego.com. Go there and just click donate. And maybe all you do today is plan to come out. You make note. That's right. When I do have my gifts all purchased, I know where to take them, get them wrapped, and help a great cause.
And I wanted to mention again, we talked about this a little bit yesterday because we had some of our small business owner friends come and make some very generous donations. If you have a local small business, a San Diego business, I know you're going to donate just out of the goodness of your heart, but we will give you extra attention on all of our social media platforms and give you extra love, because we love seeing the community come together. And I know a lot of times you guys already have money maybe earmarked for a charity of your choice. If you don't yet, we would love for it to be AJ's Kids Fund for Rady Children's Hospital. And like I said, we will totally hook you up with tons of extra love and attention.
And even if you can't come out here, that's fine. Go to allinsandiego.com, click on donate, and when you ask for your name, just put in your business name. We'll see it on the screen, and we'll give you all the love we have to give. And we've done this long enough where we can talk all day, but what really moves the needle is the stories of the families and the parents and the patients that have been through Rady's. Erin, thanks for taking a few minutes to join us.
No, absolutely. Glad to be here.
Well, let's start from the beginning. How did your Rady story begin?
Oh my goodness. Well, back in December of 2015, our then 6-year-old, who didn't even know what a headache was started complaining about his forehead hurting, and it was always in the same spot. And my husband had been deployed, and we had just moved from the East Coast, so our life was a bit chaotic. And I'd say, oh gosh, we'll get you some ibuprofen when we get home. And we'd get home, I'd forget, and they said, oh, do you need ibuprofen? He goes, no, it went away. So I it wasn't coming together that there was a lot of regularity. So I finally mentioned it. My dad's a doctor out in San Diego, and I mentioned it to him, and he kind of gave me a weird look, and he's not the weird look guy. And he said, kids aren't supposed to get headaches like that. He goes, why don't you just go see his doc just to make sure? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So we went in, fast forward about a month, and we got an MRI. And I got that phone call every parent dreads that said, there seems to be a mass. It doesn't look to be cancerous, but it will have to be taken care of. So our next step was to meet with a neurosurgeon, which no parent wants to do. And it was from our very first appointment, everything went smoothly and everyone was so kind. He had what's called an arachnoid cyst. So it's not cancerous, which was the best news ever, but he had to have brain surgery, and he stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And every person we encountered, from the doctors, the nurses, the techs, the women that brought his dinner and his lunch, were so kind. And they would bring in distractions and movies and dogs,
dogs, yes.
And we were not one of the, it was there for kind of a smaller on the medical scale thing, but to us it was humongous.
Big to you, yes.
And no one ever made us feel like we were, you guys were here for the hangnail.
Right.
They just took care of us, and we felt special, and Patrick felt so special. For a long time, he didn't want to talk about any of this to anyone, and so I started doing these interviews a few years ago, and suddenly now he's like, you should talk about this, because people need to know how special they are and how good they made me feel, so we all have Patrick's backing.
Yeah, so many people have a story of being at Rady's, but some people never have. And this exists. We've been doing this for over 20 years. And it exists because I was working at a radio station 20 years ago, and they asked me to do the radiothon that you just recently did. And I was in my early 20s, and I was like, children's hospital, this is going to be hard. It's going to be hard to see these sick kids. I was really nervous about it. And I got there, and I was within a few minutes going, this place is amazing. It's every person you meet is nicer than the next. Everyone's taking care of everyone. The kids are in surprisingly great moods because of that. It's an amazing place.
Yeah, it truly is. And we felt really lucky to be there, because we're a military family. My husband has since retired, and so we moved a lot, and we have 3 boys, so we've been in our fair share of children's hospitals. And
oh my gosh,
there's no place like that. It's just makes you feel like, hey, we care about you, and we care about mom and dad. We care about how everyone's doing, and make sure this is a positive experience. So it was. I can't say enough positive things about Rady's.
And when you're there, you have this sense, very, very acutely aware, that people come from all over the country, all over the world, to Rady for their specialists. And we are so lucky that we have this right here in San Diego. I mean, it's incredible. We are we're so extremely lucky.
Yes. I mean, there are kids there from, the kid down the hall is from Mexico. There was a kid down the hall from China. They come for their specialty.
Yeah.
They know
and if all they did was supply world-class medical care for San Diego's kids, we'd be so grateful. But to do that while also making the experience as good as your sons and so many other kids, that's kind of the real extra mile that they bring to the table. That's what we're doing today. We're specifically raising funds for the toys and the games and the playrooms, because there is no budget for that at Rady's. They count on outside people to supply those things. And can you speak on how important those things are and why people should come out and help out?
Well, yeah, it's very important, and it takes a while to find someone in San Diego who hasn't been touched by Rady's.
You're right.
Everyone you talk to, if they haven't had a child that's had something done there, their neighbor did, or their sister did, or somebody, it touches so many lives, and just all those families going through. and you might be there for an afternoon, or you might be there for a month. And kids need diversions. You know, they're probably a little bit scared, even though they're being made to feel comfortable. They're nervous, they're scared. Mom and dad are nervous and scared. And so if there's diversions and toys and something to, to entertain the kids, that takes away half the stress right there.
Yeah, it can really change the day.
So let's make sure we get as many of those diversions as possible this year. We are inside Santa's Village right now at UTC Mall. Come out. You need your gifts wrapped anyways. Our volunteers will do it for you. You make a donation. It'll go to get those games and those toys and fill up those playrooms. And, the toys are used in so many different ways. A lot of times, the first thing you think of is boredom. It's a kid, they're bored, you give them a toy. But it's also interaction. Their sibling is visiting. You mentioned having 3 kids. The brother or sister is there. Sometimes it's a bribe. I don't want to take my medicine today or do my treatment. There are so many ways these toys make a difference to a kid when they're at Rady, and Rady is awesome. So we thank you, Erin, for joining us, and we hope you'll join us out here at Westfield. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
We love sharing stories like the one we just shared. And, keep in mind the next time you drive by Rady and you just look at that gigantic, it's not even a building anymore. It's multiple. It's a little neighborhood of buildings.
Yeah.
And you think, man, every room in that building is filled with a story just like the one you just heard. And whoever's in that room would probably love something to brighten their day, a toy, a game, a video game, a book. That's what we're doing this for. It's why we've done it since 2001, to fill up that fund that specifically goes for all that fun stuff.
We're here at Westfield UTC inside Santa's workshop. And what we've done this year, because they are not collecting actual toys, I know that's super fun to go shopping and show up with a toy that you can't wait to see handed over to a little kid. But we are collecting monetary donations in exchange for wrapping all of your gifts. So bring all of your holiday gifts, Hanukkah, Christmas, bring them here. And there's an awesome team of volunteers here ready to gift wrap, and they do a beautiful job. These gifts are going to look so beautiful under the tree. And we do that in exchange for your donations, and every penny will go to get all the fun stuff for the kids at the hospital to make their stay a little brighter.
Every penny. And that you can't always say that. There are a lot of great causes in the world, but sometimes you're like, well, I don't want to give, and then it goes to something
1% of the proceeds.
For. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, it goes into a specific fund at the hospital that has been doing this forever. And it goes to toys, games, occasionally like a makeover of a playroom or a garden.
So
but
cool.
Anything, if it doesn't, it's not attached to brightening up the days of the kids, then it doesn't come out of our fund. And by ours, I mean ours, yours, and San Diego's, and this fund that's been helping the kids for a long time. We haven't been able to fill it up for 3 years, so that's why we're a little extra motivated this year to motivate you to go to allinsandiego.com right now, hit donate, be done with it, or plan on coming out here and having an amazing Christmas experience. There's nothing quite like Westfield UTC during the holidays. Do some shopping, get what you need, and get those gifts wrapped and make the donation that way.
Super happy to say that it has stopped raining, and the crowd is building outside, walking around Westfield UTC right now. And it kind of feels a little unlike San Diego, which might actually be kind of a fun thing. If you've ever been to New York or San Francisco, somewhere like that during the holidays where it's just that crisp, that like crisp, cool air out. We don't get that a lot in San Diego. So you can bundle up, you can put on your jacket for once, put on a scarf and a beanie and come. And it kind of feels like you're walking around the streets of New York. I mean, very mild version. New York winters. Yes.
But it's funny. I'm watching people, the body language and stuff at San Diego. Everyone's very weather spoiled out here. So you see people transition from this sucks, it's raining. They have their umbrella and everything. And they're like, no, the rain's gone. What am I going to do with this stupid umbrella?
We don't know what to do.
Jacket I bought.
We're such a mess when it dips below 65. We're such a mess. And I also like seeing like what we consider bundled up. I mean, we have to layer. We don't have proper jackets. We really don't. We're not prepared. We don't have good umbrellas. We don't have good winter clothes. So a lot of people busting out their rain boots, which is actually kind of fun once in a while.
Yep, absolutely. So it's good news that it's dried up with time to spare. Even if you don't want to be spontaneous and head out here now, you can have dinner, do some shopping, maybe hit Santa's workshop if you've got little ones, get out and do some ice skating in the ice skating rink. There's a lot to do at Westfield. but make sure you work the gift wrap center into it, because our amazing Rady volunteers, we don't want them just sitting around. They're here to do some work.
If
and they do amazing work.
If you're in your cozies and you want to donate online, go to allinsandiego.com and click donate. If you're following us on social media, on Instagram at AllinSD Podcast, we've linked you up in our bio as well.
Show up here in your cozies. I'm not one to judge. I'll
do
respect
it.
I will respect it. The donations you make go to so many things, all fun, including this amazing event. It's only, I think, the second year they're doing this. It's happening in 9 days, and it literally is one of the many things that is funded by fundraisers like this, community fundraisers. Joining us now is the Vice President of Philanthropy for Rady Children's Hospital, Alex Locher. Thanks for coming on with us, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Hey.
Well, thank you for doing what you do. We're raising money here at Santa's workshop to fill up the AJ's Kids Fund, which for 20 years has gone to toys, games, playrooms, all the fun stuff. And one of the fun things that is going to be helped through these efforts this year is the toy store that's coming up. Explain what that is.
The toy store is one of the most heartwarming moments of our holiday season. Parents and caregivers are invited to come to a beautiful setup and select special gifts for their kids. They're all free thanks to the generosity of our donors and to AJ's Kids Fund. And they get wrapped. The parents get a little uplifting gifts for themselves and get to go back and have that wonderful child-parent bonding moment of giving them to them, either that day if they want, or they can wait until Christmas morning or whichever holiday they celebrate. Every kid that way is sure to have a gift. It's amazing.
That is so cool. That experience they would otherwise be missing out on, that we all love, is shopping for a gift during the holidays. Where's this set up? How is this done?
It's set up outside the hospital. It's actually a really nice setting. It takes a 100-foot walk so that the parents kind of have that privacy in case it's a surprise, because as you know, income levels vary greatly. We treat all San Diegans, and so sometimes this is that gift for their child, and we don't want them to see it until the parent or caregiver is ready.
And financials aside, we've heard from so many families where the parents are, you're just sort of in another world when your child is going through something at Rady Children's Hospital. This is giving them that normalcy where they get to go shopping and gift their child without having to leave the hospital and think about all the logistics of buying and a gift and all that good stuff.
Exactly. It's such an important point, and one that will often have a parent who asks if they can wrap the gift themselves, which of course they can. And every year we get a few of those, and we all feel it. That is such a normal thing that you get to do as a service for your child. And parents have such a struggle with not being able to do the things that their kids need when they're in the hospital. Often it must be a medical provider who's doing something very important, and so this is something they can do, and that part is wonderful as well.
You must be one of the busiest women in San Diego, being in charge of philanthropy for Rady Children's, because that is a constant effort year round. You're raising money to keep the lights on and keep serving San Diego's kids. And we're so happy to be a part of the toy store, but let's talk about the other fun things like the toys and the games. Those things make a big difference year round for patients when they're at the hospital, right?
They absolutely do. I mean, when a child gets to ring a bell at the completion of their cancer treatments, when it's their birthday, again, we have to do those things, and insurance will never cover an ounce of it. And our San Diego community gets to do that for us. So it's really a special thing. And diversion and enrichment in hospital settings are what makes it a children's hospital. You can't do that without philanthropy.
Oh, that's so beautiful to think about. I love that. We're so excited that we get to be a part of it this year. And it's been a few years since we've been able to do this in person, live and in person. So we are really hoping to make this the best year yet.
When she says community, she's talking about you. And whether it's through this drive or another effort, these things don't happen without you guys. So if you can come out and see us, we're at the UTC Mall inside Santa's Workshop. You get your gifts wrapped, make a donation. That's going to go to all this amazing stuff. You can make a donation online as well. Whatever you do is super appreciated and makes a big difference. Alex, thanks so much for taking some time to join us. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
How cool is that? A friggin' toy store at the hospital. I mean, who even thinks of that, much less execute it? Well, Rady Children's Hospital does, and they're able to do it because of you and your donations.
That's such a cool idea. And I love that they think outside of the box. I mean, much like the rest of the world, a lot has changed over the last few years, and they have to keep coming up with new and exciting for the kids ways to distribute toys. And what a cool thing to make them feel like there's a little bit of a sense of normalcy. They can go to a store.
Right.
And they can pick out what they want and gift their families. I love that. And those the kind of creative, awesome people that are over there at Rady.
Yeah. I always think this when, a holiday is coming up in my house and the kids want to do something, crazy for Halloween or Christmas. I always remind myself, they only have so many Halloweens when they're a kid. Or they only have so many first day of schools or whatever they are. and that's true for all of us. And it's like, if a kid is spending a very long time in the hospital, they don't want to miss a Halloween because it's one of like 18 pre-adult Halloweens, and the funds that we raise during this make Halloween happen. Kids can pick out a costume. They can trick or treat in the hospital. They make Christmas happen. Santa shows up on December 25th with wrapped presents for the kids. They make their birthdays happen. If they're in the hospital on their birthday, they don't have to miss out on having those gifts because gosh darn it, mom and dad are real busy. They're, whoever in the family is really busy working and trying to, keep the other siblings getting to school every day. Everyone, all those moments don't have to be missed because they're in the hospital, thanks to the generosity of people like you.
And the child life specialists at Rady and the nurses, they are just looking for those opportunities. Like, what's the next cool thing we can do? What's the next kid we can make their eyes light up? And it is the big holidays, but it's also all of the mundane days in between.
Yes.
Some of these families are there for months on end. We talked to a family who their child was at Rady for over 800 days. Yeah. I forget the exact number. It was like
800.
800 over
plus.
800 days. Could you even imagine as a parent, and especially if you've got more than one child, you've got your child who's the patient at Rady, and maybe your other kids too being affected by this for over 800 days.
Yep.
So they're looking for these little moments where they can go in and just break up the monotony of a hospital stay.
800 days, that would be 2 birthdays in the hospital. That would be 2 Halloweens in the hospital. That would be 2 Christmases in the hospital. And they don't have to miss birthdays, Christmases, because they bring them to them while they're being brave and being awesome and getting through whatever they need to get through. It's amazing what they're able to do. But again, they can't do it without help, community help. There's no funds budgeted for toys, games, and Christmas presents and Halloween costumes. It comes from the community, and that's why we do events like this.
If you are moved to donate, we would love to see you in person. First of all, we're here at Westfield UTC in Santa's workshop. If you know the mall well, it's right across from Sephora and Tesla. It's where the Amazon store used to be. We've taken it over and it's all holidayed out. The Santa photos are in here as well. So if you have that scheduled for your family, the donation-based gift wrapping is right next to that. Bring all of your gifts and the awesome volunteers will wrap them for you. You make a donation that you're comfortable with, and just know that all of that money goes to AJ's Kids Fund to buy toys and games and activities for the kids to do while they're in the hospital.
Yeah, we love telling you how important all of this is, but it comes off. We also love letting the parents and families who have been through all of this tell you how important it all is. Rachel and Andre, thank you for coming on with us.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Well, why don't we just dive in with your story? Tell us how Rady has been a part of your family's life.
Absolutely. So we're the parents of 3 daughters. And when our middle daughter, Olivia, was 2 years old, she started having kind of like some alarming symptoms. And we weren't really sure what was going on with her. And it was kind of strange because a lot of the things you would, probably correlate with a child that has like a stomach bug or maybe has a cold or an ear infection. And so the symptoms started to linger a little while. And what ended up happening is on 4th of July, we rushed our daughter to Rady Children's Hospital, the emergency. And after a series of tests, we learned that our daughter had a brain tumor. And so it really started us on this whole crazy journey with our daughter, Olivia. She was admitted to the hospital at that point. She underwent multiple surgeries, brain surgeries within the first week of being in the hospital. And then we learned even more devastating news was that it was actually a cancerous brain tumor. And so we literally lived at Rady Children's Hospital with our daughter. I think our first stint was 3 months before we ever went home. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. Focused on her treatment, focused on trying to get her better and just to regain some of mobility and function that she had lost with some of the very aggressive surgeries that she underwent.
And you mentioned that you already had another daughter at the time. When something like this happens, a lot of people think about the patient and the parents, but your older daughter probably also had to spend a lot of time at the hospital. This affects the entire family.
It really does. And, you know, at the time I was actually 6 months pregnant with our third child. She hadn't even been born.
Oh my
yet.
gosh.
And my oldest daughter to go into kindergarten. So it was this crazy time where, you know, these things that should have been like really exciting and really celebrated, you know, our focus really had to be elsewhere. And so that's one of the incredible things about Rady Children's is they have, you know, child life, which really came alongside us and helped us to have these really difficult conversations with a 5-year-old, trying to explain what was going on with her younger sister. And also just very supportive when doctors would come into the hospital room and we'd have to have conversations. Child life would come with them and we would play with our daughter Amaya, or they would take her to the playroom. And so there was just really, really great resources for us so we could kind of manage what was going on with our sick kiddo, and then also the needs of our older daughter. And then, you know, our younger one as she came on the scene.
Yeah, and when she says child life, we're talking about child life specialists, people whose whole job at the hospital is to help with those difficult conversations or make sure people understand what's going on to make being there a more pleasant experience. And it's an amazing part of what they do over at Rady.
It really is. It really is. I mean, I can think of like a specific example when we were having to have like difficult conversations and gain understanding for what was going on with our daughter and have to make some difficult choices. And I remember our child life specialist coming in and bringing like some toys and games to play with Amaya. And then even other times, like going out to the playroom and for a 5-year-old, you know, she's having to go from having a normal kiddo's life and to really just being in the hospital all the time or, you know, around those types of difficult things.
And that is so amazing about exactly what we're doing with this fundraiser right here, because all of the money raised from the donation-based gift wrapping that we're doing goes specifically, it's earmarked to buy toys, games, arts, and crafts for kids like Amaya and everybody else who's there, not only the patients, but their family as well, helping it create sort of a more normal childhood experience, even though you're within the hospital doors.
Yeah, I think that nothing is normal about that time, and everything seems to be high level and high serious. So it's good to have those outlets of just regular things, whether it's reading books, watching a movie, playing video games. And a lot of those resources allow you to interact with the other kids in the other rooms as well, which is what they're missing from a normal child's life. If they would have been at school, they would be interacting with other kids. So it's really one of the only normal things and introduced into a kind of chaotic season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, that's something that there is no budget in the Rady Children's Hospital budget for those toys and games. All their money is going to really important stuff like research and medicine and keeping the lights on. So efforts like these make a big difference. And that's why we hope you'll come out and see us. We are inside Santa's workshop at Westfield UTC. You need to get your gift wrapped anyways. Come get them wrapped, make a donation, and we're going to kind of reload those playrooms and that toy supply for 2023. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us, guys.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
What else can you say? You hear from parents right from their own experience how important these things are and the difference they make when you're trying to get your kid through something. There's it's hard to put into words differently than we have over the last 2 days. It's very important that we keep this this thing going that's been going for a very long time at Rady, where if a kid goes there, they know a parent and the kid know that the experience will be as awesome as possible.
When you're at Rady, you feel like you're the only one. I mean, it's, logistically that's impossible because there is a hospital full of kids, full of families, full of siblings, but there's something magical that happens there where they make you feel like their 100% of their attention is on you and your family. And it really drives it home when they walk in and completely surprise you. Nobody's expecting it. The parents aren't expecting it. The patient's not expecting it. The siblings aren't expecting that someone's going to walk in with something special for them. In most cases, picked out specifically for them based off of what they know the kid likes and is into and the trends. And it's just completely uplifting. It transports you out of the anxiety and the worry of the hospital stay. And it just gives you a moment of respite to just have a little fun.
And it doesn't happen without everyone rallying in the community through this event and others like it. So if you have it in you, if you're not headed out here tonight, if you want to make that online donation, allinsandiego.com and just click donate when you're there. Follow us on Instagram for a lot of great pictures and videos. There's so much magic happening around us. It's a shame that we're kind of up against this. It's because of the sound. We can't be positioned differently, but you're going to really see it when you come down here. You can see it at All In SD Podcast, at All In SD Podcast on Instagram. Follow us there. If you can't give today or come down today, I hope you do it soon, because this is going on from now through the 23rd of December.
Hey, it's AJ and Sarah, and we've got something we're very excited to share with you. For the first time since 2019, the AJ's Kids Crane for Rady Children's Hospital is back. Kind of.
Yeah, a lot has changed over the last few years, and the hospital isn't accepting actual toys right now, so we've made some changes too. We're teaming up with our absolute dream partner so we can ensure that we raise as much money for Rady as possible. All In San Diego is proud to present Santa's Workshop in Westfield UTC Mall.
So you're invited to come out and have all your holiday gifts wrapped by our awesome volunteers. It's donation based, and any donation you make will go straight to the AJ's Kids Fund, which has, by the way, exclusively provided toys, games, and fun to the patients at Rady since 2002.
We'll be posted up inside Santa's Workshop, so yeah, we're teaming up with frickin' Santa.
Yeah.
You'll find it pretty much in the center of the mall, near the clock tower and the fountain, right across from Sephora. Now, depending on when you come out, you might just have Sarah or I wrap your gifts ourselves, and we'll be podcasting live on December 10th and 11th.
So we hope you'll plan on stopping by Santa's Workshop at UTC Mall sometime between December 9th and December 24th. You can follow us on Instagram for all the updates and details at All In SD Podcast. We hope you'll help us make this the best year yet.